Hi there, welcome to my new series where I show you how to turn your holiday into an art project like this one. And I wanted to do it because we have so many memories that we make on our holidays, don't we? I think your senses are heightened and you just notice things a bit more. And there's so many kind of memories associated with it. For instance, I bought this shirt while I was in Rome, and I can picture it now. I can picture the shop, I can picture the interaction with the shopkeeper, and every time I wear this I'm going to remember where I bought it. And I went to an art shop on our last day and bought a very cute little notebook and this Italian watercolour that's made with honey that I'd never heard about before, which I use in my book. And again, whenever I use that, I'm going to remember where I got that. And I think our holidays are kind of full of moments like that, aren't they? We remember where we were too late to get in somewhere, or where we've accidentally found a wonderful cafe, and also especially a place where you find, even in a really crowded place like Rome, you can still find places where there's hardly any people. And I wanted to do something that would sort of help keep those moments close to me, so that every time I look at my book I can remember what a fabulous holiday we had. And even now I can sort of turn to these pages, and this is done with a transfer method. And sometimes I would Photoshop out my own self in these pictures, because look, you can see my feet and you can see me standing next to this beautiful floor in a church. But I deliberately decided to keep it in because I'd bought this dress specially for my holiday and I hadn't worn it until the last day, and I thought, I'm just going to wear it all day, and I did. And I really liked how it picks up some of the patterns in the dress, sort of echoed the geometric shapes, but the colours were a complete contrast. And I really liked that because it really captures that moment and makes it very personal. So there are going to be several videos in this series. I'm going to give you a proper run through of the book now. And I'll be sharing with you all the sort of fun techniques I use to make this book, because there are lots. And please don't worry if you think you're not that good at drawing, because I've got lots of tips and tricks to how you can still make art, your own expressive art, even if you think you can't draw. And we're going to be making some stamps. So I use some lino to make a stamp from a detail from a picture. So as well as reinforcing some of your memories, I hope I'm going to help you look at things maybe in a slightly different way, even some of your own photographs, because I got this from a very small detail that I hadn't really noticed at the time in a photograph, and turned that into a lino stamp. And I've also made shapes, just cutting them out of plastic that can be used both for printing with and as masks. And I kept the positive and the negative because they can both be used. So I'll be showing you how I use those in my book. And you can also turn very simple shapes or even more complicated ones into thermofax screens. Now I have my own one, but there are lots of companies where you can just send off your designs and they'll send you back. And I've had some of these for some of my older ones I've had for years, and they last for ages. They're funny shapes because I'm sort of quite mean with the screen that I use, and I just try and use up bits. That's a hoopoo that we saw when we were looking around a villa in Tivoli, so I wanted to include that. And I've got lots of other ideas for putting your photographs, printing them out onto tissue paper. I wanted to get away from the slightly scrapbook thing where you're just sort of sticking things on and it looks a bit more like a sort of photo album. I wanted to be so that the photos are really sort of integrated with the pages. So tissue paper is a good way of doing that. And another way is to use transfers, where you can transfer onto a jelly plate and then from there you can transfer that in your book. And I did some sort of very simple ones like that building, but I also did sort of slightly more sophisticated ones. So this beautiful angel that I fell in love with. and took millions of photographs. That was done with the transfer, but before I transferred it, I added some paint for detail, so you'll be able to see that as well. And also I've used some sort of bought stencils, and I haven't used that many collage elements, again because I've been trying to, as I say, integrate into the pages. But I did use a bit of paper from a bag, because that went really well on the page and I could sort of lose the edges. But I did keep lots of, you know how you keep ephemera if you're anything like me, and I have used some of these for prints and various things. So do look out for my next video where I'm going to show you one side of this book in detail and show you how I did it. The first half will be in Lazio, which is the area around Rome, and we were in the countryside. And then the second part is all about Rome. And then I'm also going to show you the covers, and that will probably be in a separate video because I don't want to make them too long. And I just hope that you'll have a go at this yourself. Maybe you've got a holiday planned, and it will help you to look out for particular things so you can make your own book. It doesn't have to be a book, it could be another sort of project. Or maybe you've got some photographs and some ephemera stashed away from past trips, and this will be the opportunity for you to have a go yourself. So do let me know if this is something you're thinking of doing, and look out for the next video, and I will link that once it's up. But also in the meantime, if you look at this playlist, I've got lots of other books that you could be looking at in the meantime, and I have and I'll particularly link this video, which is the book that I made last year when I went to the Netherlands and Cologne. And that was a bit different because I was making it as I went along, so it was a bit more rough and ready than this is, but there are some other ideas in that, using photographs and printing as I went, so you could be looking at that in the meantime. But I hope you'll join me soon.